Hey guys, I am recovering from COVID and in quarantine right now, but I wanted to share some quick thoughts on a really important topic. I see a lot of insurance policies as part of my practice, and one thing that I hate to come across is someone who has been in a horrible accident and they are underinsured. And so I wanted to talk to you all about what type of insurance coverages that you want on your automobile policy. You don't just want to get the cheapest possible policy. You want to make sure that you're covered in the case of calamity. So looking through these, liability, this part right here, this is the part that you have to have if you purchase a car in Alabama or any other state. And you have to have, the current limits are $25,000 per individual and $50,000 per accident. And that's not a whole lot of money. So what that covers is if you get in a wreck and you injure someone or you damage their car, it will cover up to, say, if you just get the minimum limits, it would cover up to $25,000 per individual person, and $25,000 in property damage. Here on this particular declarations page, you actually, this policy has $50,000 per individual, $50,000 per property damage, and then $100,000 total injury liability coverage per wreck. So if two people were injured in the wreck, then it would cover up to $100,000. Now, this below this, Part C, where it talks about uninsured motorist bodily injury. This is a very important coverage. This protects you when you are hit by someone else and they either don't have any insurance or they don't have enough insurance. And unfortunately, this happens all the time, and I've seen it play out in some very tragic ways. I've seen a person hit by a drunk driver who lost a leg, and all they had was liability coverage on their car, and they had nothing to pay for medical expenses. And even if you have health insurance, you're going to have things like co-pays and deductibles. And then if you're really injured, then you might have expenses down the road, and they really add up. And that's not to mention things like pain and suffering. So this is a very important coverage, and I would say don't even get the minimum. Get more than $25,000 per person. Again, and your insurance agent is required to offer you this coverage, excuse me, but they might talk to you about whether you want to waive it. Do not waive this coverage, please. It's just vital, and it's not super expensive per month. You can see by these dollars, it is less expensive than these other coverages here. Now, say you have your car and you want to make sure that it's covered when it gets damaged because the other party doesn't have insurance or they don't have enough insurance, and you want to make sure your car is covered. Or maybe the wreck is your fault, and you don't have enough money to just pay for your car out of pocket. You can't pay for a new car in cash. Well, you need to make sure that you have it insured so that you can repair or replace it, and that's when this collision loss comes in. That's collision coverage, and that's the coverage that protects your car and will pay to repair or replace it in the event that it is wrecked or totaled, especially if it's your fault. And then comprehensive coverage covers some other things like glass breakage, and you see here this is coverage for towing and labor. Here's a rental reimbursement coverage, which is a good one to have. Don't skimp out on insurance if there's any way to avoid it, because you don't want something that you can't afford to happen and you be left without a car or owing a bunch of money in medical bills that you can't afford. So I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions.